Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bike Club. Skype is having a wobble today, so you may notice that the rest of the gang go a bit roboty from time to time. I apologize, but it's Skype's fault. So address your angry tweets to Skype, but please don't, because I don't want anyone to angry tweet anyone. So don't do that. But welcome back on our third session in the grey, misty, horrible lands of Barovia. So let's do a quick summary of what happened last time. And players, you're welcome to interject at any point about your perspective on what happened. But the gang woke up after staying the night at Ismark and Irina's house, their first night in Barovia, and they insulted Ismark and Irina straight off the bat. I say they, one member in particular insulted Ismark and Irina straight off the bat, made things very uncomfortable over the humble breakfast they prepared. But after that, they escorted their father, Ismark and Irina's father's body to the church at the other end of the village, whereupon they met Donovich and his son Doru. Little did the party know that at that time, Doru had been bitten by a vampire and was currently screaming and begging to be released from the undercroft of the church. Donovich begged them to save his son, and in return he would bury the Kolyan Indirovich's body. So, the party headed into the undercroft, and after attempting to talk to Doru, they then swiftly murdered him.
Yeah, no, that's what happened.
It's pretty much what happened. You did try.
No, I think we're missing something very important. Kolchak and I played Wyverns and Witches.
Yes, we had meta D&D. They invented D&D within D&D. An orcish custom.
Yep. Some people just don't get it, but...
I'm trying. There's a lot of dice involved for some reason.
I mean, you know, the tensions between the Empire of 1,000 Arrows and the rest of Faerun have meant that customs haven't translated over as much, you know.
So, whilst this happened, you brought up Doru's body from the Undercroft and you buried him alongside Kolyan Indirovich, in which you found out that Barovia is a very strange place. Though even though Kolyan was the burgomaster of Barovia, he was buried alongside a humble peasant such as Doru, because just people die that often in Barovia that it's just like a thing. But after the ceremony, Donovich spoke to Ismark and Irina and told them that they must flee to the abbey near Kresk, which they decided was probably a good idea, because Kresk, as far as they knew, was far away from Strahd, and it was safe. The party agreed to escort them, and they left Ismark and Irina to mourn while they went into the town for the rest of the day. Walking through the streets of Barovia, you pass by Mad Mary's house once again, and certain someone decided to have a look inside to see what the deal was. This was after a conversation whereupon you found that Mary's daughter had gone missing. So, our lovely druid, Rahal, turned into a spider and crept around the house and found a letter in the girl's bedroom telling her to be ready, that someone was coming to get her. And she found that the bedroom window had been smashed in, but besides that, there was no sign of a struggle. She then swiftly turned into human form and tried to exit the building, only to fall flat on her ass in the mud outside. She rejoined the party outside of the front of the house, and that's where we shall resume.
Ow, that was not very graceful.
I'm gonna sweep off Rahal.
I mean,
and pick her up and put her back on her feet.
Yeah. That dirt was there before. But... Okay.
I'm still gonna sweep you off. I'm gonna sweep off a little extra dirt too that wasn't there.
No, I'm attached to that part.
We'll find new things for you to get attached to, honey.
Which I step away from the overdressed half-orc.
Excuse me, that is not an overdressed half-orc.
Says the overdressed elf.
Well, and to be fair, I think I was wearing a gauzy dress with sequins, and I'm pretty sure that it's been raining.
Wasn't there the kitten heels as well?
Kitten
Yes,
heels.
yes.
There was
But-
liberal amounts of chainmail, if I remember correctly.
No, just
Yeah.
chains.
Oh, just chains. Just chains.
Just
Yeah,
chains.
and the sequins that look like dripping blood.
Yes. But it has been raining, so I just want people to note that it is gauze that's wet.
Oh. Oh.
I think nobody else had put that together. 'Cause as soon as you mentioned it was raining, I was like, oh.
I'm not that firm on gauze. Does it basically mean it's see-through? Or...
It's completely see-through now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because gauze is kind of see-through to begin with. And once it's wet, it's like it doesn't even exist.
Mhm.
So you're all a lot more intimately familiar with Chandra now.
Mhm.
Druids in the wild, like, there is nothing there I haven't seen before.
Exactly.
I'm an elf.
So I assume Rahal doesn't step too far away when Chandra like picks her up tall to put her back on her feet. Yeah.
No, just, you know, the threat of giving me a makeover is real.
It's very real.
The way I'm picturing this is all that's going on, and then like if it was cinematic, the camera would refocus, and you just realise that wasn't a background. That was just Kerchak giggling in the background. just a pull focus, and all of a sudden there's a giant half-orc there just giggling to himself.
So, you find yourselves in the muddy street outside the front of Mad Mary's townhouse. What do you do?
I tell my compadres that this might be a bit more complicated than we thought. And I show them the letter.
Oh. It. Right. So it seems that you went willingly.
Yeah. Slay the monster, rescue the damsel. I'm not entirely sure that's going to work out here.
Well, it depends if she was under some sort of spell.
Yes.
Well, it's hard to tell the difference between a spell and teenage hormones.
And if it was a spell, why would you need to write to them? Surely it would have been a case of, oh, you, come here.
Well, I'm not about to explain the finer points of magic to you. But
Okay.
it takes a very big spell to make it that easy.
One you're not capable of doing, I'm guessing.
Of course not. No, I'm only capable of the most minor of arcane magic.
Well, at least you can admit that.
I
Well, he
cannot
can't
tell a
lie.
That's what a liar would say.
I'm afraid I'm not a liar. I can't even make a liar admission.
Well,
Was there anything else we needed to look at? I'm gonna keep brushing off Rahal and ask if there's anything else we needed to check out.
How long have you been doing the brushing off thing?
The whole
Pulled
time.
out-
The
it's
whole
pulled
time.
out like a
I'm
little,
going, okay, that's enough.
pull out like a little archaeological brush and just excavating the dirt.
Oh, that's from 20 years ago. That was last week. I don't know whose blood
So
that is, but
You get rid of that and there's like a whole sparrow just under there, the bones of a sparrow in your arm.
oh god,
A Roman helmet.
anachronistic. But I'd say, well, we have the doll. Mary told us about Blisky's toys, I believe. There's some merchant as well we were told about.
yeah, the one that makes those creepy ass dolls.
I think
No, there was another merchant. There was one that they mentioned. Something
Bill-
to do with price hikes.
Stuffs? Bill something? I can't read.
Bilbo, I believe his name was.
No, Bill Drafts. I think. I don't know. So it looks like Duff, but that's a Simpsons beer.
I think it was it Glinks or
think we
something like
broke-
that. Glink,
No,
Glinks
Blinksy was...
toys.
No, that's
Blinksy.
Blisky's toys. That's
Ah.
Blisky's toys. I think.
I
Blisky?
think we could just
Ah.
ask anyone where the merchant is. This isn't the biggest metropolis.
Oh, of course. And I don't think we need anything right now. I, of course, as a tried and tested adventurer, came fully prepared for all ordeals. I have no
You
need
want-
of...
Well,
You
I
are
think-
indeed trying.
You guys.
if there is anyone who
Yeah,
has,
you're also testing my patience.
if there's anyone who has information about who's passed through town, it will most definitely be the merchant.
That is a good idea, though. You're full of good ideas, aren't you?
And you guys would know where Bildrath's Mercantile was because it's like the one place in town that has a sign outside the front besides the tavern, and you walk past it on your way up to the graveyard.
So we're like arguing about it, like right in front of the sign.
And yeah, actually, pretty much, it's literally like 2 houses down from where you are.
Right.
Oh, as well, there was somewhere else that they said to go. Do you remember them talking about a camp of those people, like that despicable violin player that we ran into on the way here?
Vistani.
Yes, those lot. I have a feeling it might be a good idea to pay them a visit. They said they have close connections with Strahd.
They also have the history of music in this area, which I'd be very keen to pick up on.
Yes, I would like to sample the local culture, even if the local culture does involve people's sons wanting to bite and claw their own father's eyeballs out.
When are we set to take Irina to Grescabby? Susie?
They told you to basically they were going to set off the next day because it's a long journey, and they didn't want to set off now because it was approaching midday, so they didn't want to be traveling at night.
Well, it depends on how far the Vistani camp is away.
I'm just gonna like pick up Rahal and just start scooting over to the big sign.
Oh, well, I
Wait,
guess...
what? Are you literally picking me up?
Yes.
Do you want to contest that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Rahal, you do an athletics or acrobatics. Chandra, you're an athletics.
Roll the 16.
Oh,
18?
I'm gonna.
that's a
Okay,
one.
you said athletics.
Yep.
Oh, 15.
All right. Okay, so you got 18, right?
18, yeah.
18. Okay, so Chandra, you go to loop your arm around Rahal to just scoop her up, and she just ducks out of your way really quickly as she feels your arm come through.
Okay, we stop that right now. I'm not a ragdoll. You will not pick me up. You can ask first, but you will not just pick me up like this. Okay?
Would you like a ride to the market?
Like 2 houses over there. It's just there.
My question still stands.
I just walk and confusedly glare at the half orc. Like,
Which half orc?
what? Well,
The naked half orc.
yeah.
You're not naked. You're differently clothed.
Okay, so
I will stare at her eyes though, and
just make
you
a
know,
point to
in
not.
case.
Okay, so you
What's-
guys make your way down the street, and you see that the sparse light from this building spills out behind drawn heavy curtains. A sign over the door, creaking on its hinges, reads Bildrath's Mercantile. So,
I go in because I'm ahead. I think
all right.
running.
Okay, Rahal, you push open the door, and it's like a really well-worn door, and the hinge is like "Arr!" as it opens, and it's like, you know, when you're in a shop and you kind of just trying to like keep yourself to yourself, but then you like press a toy on the shelf, something that makes a big noise, and you're like, oh Christ, you don't want to draw attention to you. Like if there were people in the shop, which you find out there isn't, everyone's eyes would be on you. That's how loud and obnoxious that door is opening. You get the sense that rather than having like a bell over the door, Bildrath just relies on the creaking of the hinges to let him know that someone's entered.
Yeah.
You look inside and it's like kind of dimly lit. It's not very well lit. It's dark, it's drab, and you can see like rusted spades propped up against a wall. There's like a ladder, there's bits of rope. You know, there's like general stuff. There's a couple of backpacks, it's pots, pans. It's like a general goods store in here.
Mm-hmm. I will just have a look around, see what he has, because I'm, not that used to shops.
Yeah.
So...
As you're looking around, you do actually see like there are a few rusted sickles and like a crap dented short sword, just kind of in a corner piled up. There is at the far end. There's a long oak counter. You can't see anyone at it at the minute, but there are shelves behind that have like food stores on them. There's like bread, like really sad looking vegetables. But it's empty and it's really quiet.
Okay.
I'm going into the shop also. By the way.
So am I.
All right.
Like this.
Can I slam the door in his face?
I mean, you could.
What do I have to roll for that?
You don't. You just shut the door in
Okay.
Davalon's face.
I just pushed the door open. I'm a paladin of Lavender, scion of the Morning Lord, and I am beyond this now.
Okay, so as more of you start filtering into the shop, the door, every time it opens, it's... This door sounds horrible. It really needs some WD-40 on it. But a little while after you guys enter, you see a short, dumpy, kind of chubby old guy. He looks dour. He has like a permanent scowl. He has a mustache, but it's kind of not well kept. It's uneven and scraggly. He has that thing where he's got the hair on the sides of his head but nothing on top. And he's wearing kind of semi-nice clothes, not as nice as Ismark and Arena, but he looks better than what you would imagine a peasant would look like here. And he just comes up and he rests his arms on the counter and goes, "What do you want?"
Excuse
How
me?
much for 2 sickles?
2 sickles would run you... let me think. Cost of acquiring it, restoration, 40 gold.
Restoration.
Excuse me, my good sir. It appears that you're lying to your customers about your prices.
Do you see any other shops here?
No.
Well, then I get to charge what I want, don't I?
Not sure that's the way it works. But I can't tell you otherwise. I just know that it's immoral to charge that much money for something so bland.
You see him like give you a crooked smile, and as he smiles, you see a couple of his teeth are missing, and a couple look rotted and grim. But again, he goes, "What are you going to do about it?"
Well, I could reprimand you and take you to the appropriate authorities.
What authorities? You going to take me up to the big man himself, are you, in the castle? Yeah?
No.
He's the authority here.
No. Well, let's see. If we're using... let's get out a book from my bag. Start flicking through it. Let's see. Here, page 267, line 14 of the Order of the Gauntlets Code of Order. Extortion. Oh, that's a bit dark. You can tell this was written by followers of Torm. For extortion... ooh. That's a week in jail. And jail can be a place of my choosing. I don't suppose Donovich would let me use the undercroft for this man.
Mate, you're very funny, but you're pissing me off. So
Well, that's
you buy
unfortunate. That
something,
wasn't my intention.
or you leave.
Um. Oh. You wouldn't happen to have a bottle of wine,
I have wine.
right?
Purple mash number 2 from the Wizard and the Wine.
Is that a red or rosé or white?
Is red.
Don't drink red wine. It's. You have any white?
No.
No. A bit of a terrible shop then, aren't you? Overcharging and understocked. Give you a bad review to the townsfolk.
Lad.
Do you ever purchase anything off of travelers?
I might do from time to time. Depends if you've got anything worth my while.
What are you looking for?
What have you got?
What you selling?
What are you buying?
Let me look what garbage I've picked up. I guess I have a number of fine costumes.
How many did you buy?
How many did I buy or how many did I bring?
Oh no.
Either way, the answer is all of them.
A lot.
It depends how fine we're talking. Are we talking silks, velvets, chiffons, taffetas? What are we talking?
Well, judging by Chandra's dress sense so far, I'd say finer than anything in this shop, at least.
You're testing my patience.
My apologies. I can't tell a lie, and to omit stuff is to lie just the same. So I have to say what's on my mind.
You should omit yourself from my premises.
I'm afraid that...
He just gestures with his hand to the door. Just
I'll let you talk, Chandra.
As he was gesturing to the door, I'd like to really slowly creak open the door again. In case he did want to leave.
As he gestures, and as Davalon drops his sentence halfway through, the door just goes...
But if I see no one leave, whenever the shopkeep tries talking, I'll slowly start shutting it. Like, oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Just conveniently at the best worst time.
So, I'm gonna continue talking to the shopkeeper despite creaking doors and rude paladins. See. I have been a traveling performer for many of years with the highest courts, and I was the costume repairer for many fine troops. I have clothing ranging from gilded, jeweled, down to the cheapest peasant clothes.
You might want to hold on to the expensive stuff. You'll need it.
Why's that?
Well, you'll want something nice to be buried in.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Sir, do you happen to sell manacles here?
Manacles? I have a pair.
How much would they be?
50 gold.
50 gold. Let me just check my finances because I accidentally opened my CV instead of my character sheet.
Good job.
Well, sir, if you're not interested in my finery, I certainly have some mid-level clothing which seems to be within your price range.
I'll buy it off you. 5 silver.
Let me see. Did I not put charm person in here?
No, regretting.
As I'm
I
looking
did.
through, as I'm looking through my coins, I'm like, So, do you get a lot of business from the
Okay,
locals?
before we get that, so you have charm person, Chandra.
I do.
Are you wanting to
I'll let
cast
him-
it on Bildra?
Let's see how far things go with Davlin.
Okay.
But just know it's there.
Okay. At this point, he's kind of just still got his eyes on Chandra, because he's in the midst of maybe making a deal. But he kind of responds to you. He says, I get some trade, not mainly from locals, because, well, they don't really need much. But I do get a few adventurers like yourselves coming through. They're
I
always...
Do they
Just-
usually buy?
Do they usually buy? Well, you see, the good thing about adventurers in Barovia is they're a self-filling economy. So one set arrive, and I just loot the dead ones and sell them their shit back. It's great. So, healing
I don't get
potions,
it.
swords, armor
Go check, may I
sometimes.
speak to you
Depends what I can
outside?
find off the corpses.
Yeah, go on then.
Alright, me and
What-
Kochak go outside.
Door.
Really slowly.
What do you do with the money?
Well, some of it has to go to the man up the mountain.
Man in the high castle.
Man in the high castle. But I'm a man of modest needs. I just hold on to it. You never know when it'll come in handy.
You're telling me you just have a stack of gold that you just sit on? Like a dragon?
It's invested in my future. I won't be able to do this forever.
What future?
Where are you going, though? I mean, it's not like you can leave, can you?
No, but food costs money, and I have to pay my dues to the Lord.
Are his dues that exorbitant?
It depends. These taxes vary from mood to mood. Sometimes he just forgets for decades.
You could support the adventurers coming through, out to slay him.
Too much money in it for me.
Money you can't use.
We've all got flaws, haven't we?
Okay, I'll just like put some of my mid-level clothes on the counter and see if anyone wants to buy anything.
So he'll pull some up and he'll check the stitching and looks at holds them up to himself a little bit, and then tell you what, 10 silver. I'm feeling generous today.
I think that'll be fine.
We have a deal.
Yes.
And he extends like a pudgy hand to you, and his nails are dirty and unkempt and they're bitten, but he extends it to you.
I give him a very firm, intimidating handshake.
He kind of goes, oh, good handshake you got on you there. My nephew would love to meet you.
Who's your nephew?
And then you just hear him go, Periwinkle! To somewhere in the back.
Excuse me.
And you hear like a thud, you hear crashing. And out comes this very tall, very wide, ripped as fuck dude. Human dude. He looks just as dour as Bildrath does. His skin basically has no colour. He's like just pale. His clothes are like tight, and you get the feeling that like this is not tight because he's trying to show off his hot bod. It's just tight because he just hasn't had new clothes in a long time. But this guy is almost as big as you are, and he just goes, "What?
Oh dear.
Who are these?
Oh honey. Would you like a new shirt?
Oh no."
Are you sure? You aren't uncomfortable.
What's uncomfortable?
Well, are you going to introduce me or not?
Bildraff just goes, "This is my nephew. I don't even. What's your name?"
My name is Chandra Laranja. I'm a half-orc
Oh,
Focus.
from elsewhere.
he goes, Periwinkle, Chandra, Periwinkle. And Periwinkle's like, hello. You...
And I extend my hand for a handshake.
And he kind of takes it, but it's like he doesn't know how to do a handshake, so he just grabs your entire hand. Not like he would a handshake, but just grabs it like that. And just wobbles your arm up and down, like just way too much force in it.
I'm gonna just gently correct him by using two hands in my handshake.
He gets there eventually. He just goes, how do you do?
Hello, dear.
And as he stepped forward to shake your hand, you can see now that he's kind of trying to make himself as big as you, and he's squaring his shoulders back, trying to be he's the biggest dude here. And then at this point, he turns to his uncle and goes, well, what did you want? And they'll just like, I don't know, she was big, you're big.
I think I'll just take out a shirt for him.
Mm-hmm.
And just give it to him.
And you see that his face actually lights up, and he goes, is this for me?
Yes, dear.
How much do you want for it? At this point, his uncle goes, terrible. He's like, the nice lady has given you a gift. Say thank you. And he's like, thanks, I guess.
Just remember this kindness, dear.
I will. Do you want anything? Do you need lifted or moved or anyone's face to get punched in?
When he says lifted, my eyes light up and I look at Rahal. Does Rahal have no response to that?
No. Rahal whisper or just mouths no. And hides behind a shelf. But still watching because whatever's happening, I want to see this.
Well, I suppose at this time we don't have any particular need, but maybe in the future we'll need a little guidance. Do you know the directions to the camp?
Camp? And you see he's kind of panicking at this point. You can tell that people don't really talk to him much. That he's kept excluded from people. And he's starting to panic because he doesn't know how to talk to people. But his uncle interjects and says, what do you want with the Vistani?
We're simpler travelers, and I'm here to learn the culture of your country.
Yeah, they have a culture, alright. They're just out of town, a couple of hours, maybe. On foot, less on horse.
Oh, which direction?
West.
West.
My map's on my wall behind me because it's a really nice poster. So I'm like, shit! Yes,
just behind
West.
Geordie.
Yes, just behind Georgia LaForge and Catherine Janeway.
I'm gonna look the guy in the eyes, dead on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say, now my dear, there's no reason to be so shy. But if you come with me, I'll teach you the skills of the stage, and I can teach you to perform for everyone.
At this point, he's clutching onto this shirt you gave him like it's gold. He's so thrilled with it. And as you say, if you come with me, he goes beet red. And he gets really flustered. He's like, I can't. I've got to stay in the shop and look after it and look after my uncle. But that's very, very kind of you, ma'am.
Well, the offer stands, and you're welcome to come with me anytime.
He kind of like looks at his uncle like, "Can I?" And his uncle's like, "I will, thank you. Maybe later, yeah."
Okay. I guess we go back outside. I take the money and meet the dudes outside.
Outside, I am flicking through the book, trying to find some way that I can lawfully punch this guy's lights out, reading out verses to
The whole time I'm like, or you could just punch him. Or you could just punch him.
Nothing have to. It has to be inside the code of laws.
I see the two of them like trying to figure out how to hit the guy. Like, I already have the information. We go west.
But no, this isn't a case of information. This is a case of the fact that he's an awful person exploiting people.
But he has a lovely nephew.
Exactly, all the more reason to get, well, not rid of him, but to sort of reprimand him.
No.
Must be a lot of fun.
His nephew will take care of that. We just have to do the good deeds and show them the way of kindness.
Do you think he's murdered anyone?
Not directly.
Imprisonment?
Surely not.
Blackmailing?
I doubt it.
Suffrage? I don't know why that's in here, actually.
Can we just go?
Demon
Are
summoning?
you? I mean,
It is coming up to like midday now at this point.
Do you think he summoned a demon?
I don't think so. What do you get for demon summoning?
Murder.
Whether
But then wouldn't
Is
the
that not
person who killed them then get the same punishment
No,
as
because
murder?
they're outside the. This is the police's book. And the police. This is the law.
The
mind.
people that I normally hit when they try to arrest me.
Rahal,
Listen, you haven't.
shall we go west?
What's a police? Yeah.
What's a police?
It's like a guard.
Well, it's a band.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, I think I heard them play.
Yes, their lead singer is Bite. Yes.
You stop that. You stop that right now. I'm putting an end to this. Okay, so you're stood in the middle of the village of Barovia. It's coming up on midday. What do you want to do?
I suppose we go to this Vistani camp.
Might as well.
Okay.
You said you had some information, Chandra. Was it pertaining to the camp?
Yes, it's west.
Right. That's that way then.
He said something about horses, but you know, myself and Kolchak have long legs. Would you like a ride, Rahal?
I don't actually know how to respond to this.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
Is that a cultural thing? I asked Karachek. Why did she want to give me a ride? That's the third time she's asked.
I just shrug. Like it's far too entertaining watching you try and figure this out, so it's just a shrug.
Young love.
What? This is all very confusing. You're very strange people.
How dare you?
I point at the elf, and then I point at Chandra.
I'm currently just looking west heroically.
Okay, so I'll pick up Devlin.
Devlin's pose does not change as you just sort of pick it up. It's like a cardboard cutout.
It's like a cowboy
just sort of-
cutout.
And just sort of point forwards. Onwards, my noble steed.
So you guys start heading west. And I can't even describe the scene I'm currently picturing. But you head
Don't worry.
west.
I got dropped.
Okay, so you start heading west, and the road is still it's not paved. There's no cobbles. It is just beaten down ground. So it's just ground that's been worn away by what you can only assume is hundreds of years of people treading that particular path.
And inner city violence.
As you leave the village boundaries, you start to notice that the woodland becomes a lot more dense around the road, and it seems to be like the main road. It's quite wide, and you can see cart tracks, and you can tell it's a well-worn thoroughfare. After a little while of walking, you see a river flowing alongside and beneath the road. There's small bridges that traverse this river. And it's weird. Everything in this place looks so drab and downbeaten and devoid of life, but this river is like crystal blue. It's gorgeous. It looks fresh. It looks healthy. It looks like a really nice, just picturesque Bob Ross-ass river.
This would strike me as very strange, what with nature being what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Does it strike me as an illusion or something very unnatural? Can I make some form
Roll
of check?
a survival check? Is nature a skill? No, it's survival, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No, nature
Both.
is
No, roll a nature check.
Yeah. It probably won't matter because I rolled a 3. So that's... is it nature or survival?
Nature.
6.
6. Okay, you can't... It's not quite right. It shouldn't be this bright compared to the rest of the landscape, but you can't really tell why. It's just a really nice river, but that's still a bit weird.
Ah, the light of the sun always catches the river quite nicely. Makes it look lovely, doesn't it?
I look up and check for sun. Oh, wait.
Like your previous day in Barovia, it's really overcast. There's no direct sunlight anywhere. It's the day, and you can tell it's the day because it's still like lit, but it's not bright. It's brighter than it has been. That's because you assume it's coming up on midday. Okay, so you continue down the path for, we will say, about an hour? Yeah, about an hour and a half. And you come to a fork in the road.
Would that sort of count as a short rest just because we're not doing anything? Or is that still...
No, short rest means like you have to just be like sat down and
Proper.
chilling.
I should have Chandra carry me in.
But as
Just
you
power gaming.
As you approach the crossing at the fork in the road, you can see up ahead a rickety-looking gallows. The planks of wood on the bottom frame isn't they're not. Some of them are rotted and broken, but the frame of the gallows is still stood tall, and there appears to be a rope hanging from it.
But no one on the rope.
No one on the rope.
Yeah, that's a wonderful sight. You know, hanging was outlawed in Waterdeep over 300 years to this date.
You can still murder demon worshippers. So...
Well,
Just not with a rope. Oh, the horror.
There's a slight bit of difference between a common criminal and somebody wanting to bring in the epitome of all destruction in the universe into the mortal plane.
Sounds like me on a bad morning.
It depends how much curry you've had the night before, my dear friend.
This is true.
Okay, as you approach the gallows, you can see that at the bottom of the base of the gallows, there's a signpost. And it points off in 3 directions. Barovia Village to the east, the Ther Pool to the northwest, and Ravenloft Vallaki to the southwest.
What was the first one?
So the first one is Barovia Village to the east.
Oh, I want that one.
The second one is Ther Pool to the northwest. And the third one is Ravenloft / Vallaki to the southwest.
Does southwest face towards the castle?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's more for Stuart than for Devlin, because Stuart got confused.
Okay, so yeah, the northwest fork slants down and disappears into the trees, while the southwest fork clings to an upward slope. Across from the gallows, a low wall, crumbling in places, partially encloses a small plot of graves shrouded in fog.
Is the fog just on the graveyard?
I mean, there's fog everywhere, but there is like an isolated patch over the graveyard, which is a bit weird.
I am going to, despite the fact that it makes my brain feel all funny, I'm going to divine sense that graveyard.
Okay, so you take a moment, you focus. You don't sense anything.
Well, that's good at least. This entire area seems, well, this entire, wherever we are, seems horribly filled with malaise. Shall we just keep going west?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Seems like the correct direction.
What did that sign say? West was west?
There was nothing towards the actual west, I think.
Oh.
But from what you can gather, the Ravenloft Vallaki one is pointing towards a castle. That was the southwest one, so you probably want the northwest one.
Yeah.
Northwest was,
Serpul?
that was Serpul.
The Serpools, yeah.
As in, like, Sir Galahad.
No, it's Tser.
Oh.
Silent T, like Ser.
Yeah, like Saw.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's go that way then.
Okay, so as you turn to go up the northwest path, get there eventually, you hear a creaking noise behind you, coming from the gallows. Where there was nothing before, now hangs a lifeless grey body. The breeze turns the hanged figure slowly so it can fix its dead eyes upon you. You all recognize this figure instantly. It's Davalan.
Chandra starts laughing.
I look from Davalin to the hanged Davalin and back.
No, don't look at me, that's not me, and I don't have a twin.
I punch Davalan in the arm. No, he's real. He's real.
Look, I'm certainly not that pale, and I wouldn't ever let my clothing get that worn.
You're also not that dead, I think.
That too, yes.
So the creature on the rope actually turned to look at us? Is that, did I
It's
hear
sort
that
of
right?
twisted in the breeze.
Huh.
So as if it's been dangling there the entire time and it just...
It seems as if our esteemed host has taken notice of us.
I want to go closer and have a closer look.
Okay.
I
That's a
wonder
good thing to do.
why, Devlin.
You move...
Well, that would be
Blair.
because he is
Go on.
That was weird.
Because of his sunny disposition.
No, I was going to say that's because he's a soulless coward.
Okay, so Rahal, you move closer to the figure on the gallows, and the smell is unbelievable. That is the smell of a corpse that has been there for some time.
Mm-hmm.
You get closer, and it seems real. Roll a perception check.
I poke it as well.
Like a stick.
I want to go over as well.
Like a little kid with a bird that they found. on the side of the road.
21 perception.
Okay, you go up, you poke it, and it reacts, it sways. It's real, it's there, it has a physical form. And it looks just like Davalan. It's dressed like him too.
Does it have any equipment or is it just clothing?
Just clothing, there's no weaponry on it. His hands are tied
Hold on,
behind his
wanna-
back.
I want to go up and check the right hand.
Okay, you go up and check the right hand.
You got a gauntlet on it?
It looks exactly like your right hand.
I have an idea. Devlin, try changing clothes.
I reach into my backpack and take the cloak off. Put a different cloak on. It's exactly the same shape. It's just a different color.
The figure on the gallows is still the same as it was. Nothing's changed about it.
And take the cloak off. Put the old one back on. I like this one better. Matches my eyes. Well, it has the consecrated gauntlet I wield. It has all of my clothing, yet it's not real. Because, as you can see, I'm not dead. Which does mean that our host commands a great deal of power. To be able to mimic a symbol of the Order of the Gauntlet without burning your eyeballs out is quite a feat.
I mean, you touched it.
A town outside of town, or outside of time. We know that he has a ton of power.
I mean, any wizard with enough clout can do that, but this is a bit beyond most.
I want to cut it down.
Okay. So you're doing this with your axe?
Yeah.
Take a big swing, and you do manage to cut it down. You get the feeling that the rope is pretty old and frayed as it is. It was basically because the body hadn't been disturbed that it hadn't dropped off. And it crumples to the ground like a sack of potatoes. Still very real. Still very Davalan.
Well, Mr. Paladin, what do you want to do with yourself?
Well, I'm not dead, but this body looks exactly like me. Now, it's either one of two things. This is a fabrication, or it's a person made to look like me. If it's a fabrication, I don't care. If it's a person made to look like me, I think we should at least bury it.
Well, maybe you should check if it is a real person. Are the insides there?
Actually, Davalan, roll a investigation check.
Oh man, am I good at these? I am good at these. I got a 1.
You got.
You are so
I'm
good
gonna
at
give
these.
you the advantage
best at this.
because it's basically you and you know what you're looking for. Basically, what you're doing now is you're checking to make sure that this is actually you, or if it's someone made to look like you.
That's better.
Does it have that embarrassing
20
tattoo
not
that
natural.
I got when I was 16?
20
I
not
don't have any.
natural. Okay, so you now the body is down, hanging off the rope. You check and you find. You look for little scars that you know you have from your time fighting.
I have no scars.
Will you look for identifying marks that you have that you would be able to find on yourself? And as you're looking over this figure, you notice that the angle of the jaw is not quite right. The cheekbones aren't quite as sharp. The ears are pointed, but the shape of the eyes are slightly off.
I know the way that I look very intimately and with great detail. And I can say that this isn't me. I mean, obviously, but it's not a copy, as it were. It's either a bad make, which, by the way, if it is a bad make, you should take more care in your work. But if it is just someone, it most likely is just someone dressed to look like me.
Okay. I mean,
Let's
it
bury
really
him.
it didn't affect me one way or the other, but I'm glad you, in your heart of hearts, know
It
you're not
did-
dead.
It didn't really affect me either, but you know how things. You have to check. Is there any space in the graveyard?
Not that you can see, but there would be. You could dig a hole if you wanted to. There's no empty grave waiting, but there is space that you could dig one.
Okay. That didn't dig a hole.
Okay. So you take some time, dig a hole, and you put it in this makeshift graveyard. You notice, though, that while you're doing this, none of the graves are marked. There's nothing on them. They're just blank. There's no flowers left. There's nothing but blank headstones.
Well, now that this is done, I think we should get out of here. By out of here, I mean the immediate area. And then get out of here.
Oh, I don't know. I'm to enjoy it. You know, lovely scenery, great rivers. It's beautiful.
I don't have time for this right now.
Oh. Well. Oh, are we going to continue going on to these Vistani, or?
Yes, perhaps they can have some answers for us. They have dealings with Mr. Doesn't Take Care in his work. So perhaps they can tell us a little bit about this.
All right. So you head down the road, and you can see that the road you're about to take is less like a footpath now. It's more like a cart track. There's definite grooves where cart wheels or wagon wheels have gone through the earth and cut a path through. So you're walking for about another hour, and you come across. Let me find it. Okay, so you're walking for about another hour, and the road gradually disappears and is replaced by twisted, muddy path through the trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the comings and goings of wagons. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way to black clouds boiling far above. There's a clearing here, next to a river that widens to form a small lake several hundred feet across. 5 colourful round tents, each 10 feet in diameter, are pitched outside a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, its sagging form lit from within. Near this tent, 8 unbridled horses drink from the river. The mournful strains of an accordion clash with the singing of several brightly clad figures around a bonfire. A footpath continues beyond this encampment, meandering north between the river and the forest edge.
I start playing with my dulcimer to match the singing.
All right. Okay. So are you guys just walking up on the camp? Actually, roll me a perception check before you start.
Doopy boo boo. Oh.
14.
14, what did you guys do?
15.
15. Marissa?
It looks like I got a 1. Again?
No, that's a... Scroll down.
But I got a 1 first, and then it rolled a 15.
No, the one is from the check earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I got a 15 plus... Sorry.
That's okay.
The cats are knocking everything off my...
I got a 4 for what it's worth.
Good job, good job.
Nice.
So 20.
Okay, so as you're walking down this path, Rahal, Davlin, and Chandra, you are very aware that you are being watched. From the woods surrounding the path, there are eyes on you. Can't see them, but you know you're being watched.
Alright, wherever you are,
Can
please.
I perform for the people watching? Can I roll a performance check?
So
is what
as
I'm
you're
asking.
walking, Chandra, you pull out your dulcimer, and can I have a performance check, please?
Yes. Oh. What is that, 16? Yeah, 16.
16. Okay. You don't hear any that, no one steps forward and starts applauding, but deep in the woods you hear a whistle, like a sharp whistle, which is then received a bit closer to you. And then in the camp is responded with another whistle. And as you get closer to the camp, you find 2 young men stood greeting you, arms crossed.
Hello, good day. Quick question before we get started. Have any of you ever seen yourselves hanging from some gallows?
No.
Right, just me then. Do you have any wine?
We have plenty, friend. Who are you?
My name is... let's just go with Davilan. Scion of Lathander, Paladin of the Dawnlord. The reason... I'm just going to... sorry, you can talk.
Davilan. That's Chandra. Karchik. Hal.
You're
We're adventurers. We're trapped here, trying to kill the big guy. Hi.
Ah. Okay.
I know,
and
we're not the first.
as the two are stood there, another a young man approaches from behind and whispers something in the guy who's talking to you's ear. You see that these guys are really colourfully dressed, very much like the gentleman that greeted you in the tavern near Baldur's Gate. Except they're not got like a big hat on. They're a bit more casual, but they're still very vibrant. They have like dark hair and like coppery skin, and they seem very happy, jovial kind of guys. They have the guy that's talking to you has a jeweled dagger tucked in his sash, which he's kind of resting one hand on, kind of just to be like let you know it's there. But he listens.
That's cute.
He listens to the gentleman that comes up behind him. He nods, and he smiles. He goes, "Well, Madame Eva welcomes you. Welcome to our camp." And then he gestures in.
About that wine.
Follow me.
I do
you have white? Please say you have white wine.
Maybe somewhere, I don't know. I'll check for you. Please, come sit down. Come sit down. So he leads you to the central bonfire, and you can see that there's small birds being cooked on it, and sat around it are children, there's women, there's young men, there's dogs, there's cats. Like, everyone's gathered. This is the central point of their camp. And off to one side, there's another similarly very brightly coloured man, but he's wearing like more jewellery. And he looks like he's got like a small audience of children sat at his feet, and he's gesturing wildly, and he looks like he's in the middle of a story, and he's telling these kids this amazing tale. And you hear like little "oh, ooh, ahs" coming from the children. As you approach the fire, a very small girl wearing no clothes comes running past you, screaming at the top of her lungs like "ah!" And then behind her is like a man going, "Get back here, get back here, get back here!" chasing this child around the camp. She's giggling and laughing, and so is the man. You get the feeling that this kid likes to run around naked a lot, which is kind of a game for them. No one's batting an eyelid to this. This just seems like a normal occurrence. So you have been invited to sit at the fire. What do you do?
I sit down. This reminds me of home.
I'm gonna sit at the fire and listen to the story.
Okay. So, as you approach, the man telling the story goes, "Oh, we have guests?" And the kids are like, "Whoa!" And they turn around and they see you guys with your weaponry, and they see that you're not like them. And some of the kids come rushing up to you, and like they'll look like, don't know if they can touch you, or if but they're like looking at you very reverently. Rahal, like a kid's tugging on your hair. Someone's playing with the sequins on Chandra's outfit. Tons of you've been mobbed by children.
Yeah.
But
I'll just like grab and hug one little kid that looks like they want to hug.
Okay, you grab a small boy who was like flicking one of the little chains dangling off your outfit. And as you grab him, he squeals and giggles, and he settles in a little bit. So, as you sit down, the gentleman telling the story goes, "Greetings, my name is Darzan."
Oh. Begins with a D. I like that. I am Davlan.
Good to meet you, Davilan. Tell me, what brings you to our camp today?
inquisitiveness more than anything, I suppose. Though today has been rather strange.
Well, children, inquisitiveness is scary and dangerous. Remember the fate of Magda? And the kids go, no, not Magda! Ah! But,
I'm
gone.
a traveling bard, and I would love to learn your stories.
I have a very good one for you. One I witnessed myself. My hand on my heart, I saw this with my very own eyes. Shall we, children? Shall I tell them the tale of the wizard? And the kids are like, yeah, the wizard, oh my god! Because this one is a favorite. The kids love this one. And he goes, and he stands, he puts, you didn't notice before, but there's like a tree stump that he suddenly stands on, like a mini stage. And he stands up very tall and he goes, Dazan will tell you a tale. And he says, excuse me, he says, a mighty wizard came to our land, this land, over a year ago. I remember him like it was yesterday. He stood exactly where you're standing, sitting right now. He was a very charismatic man, he was. He thought he could rally the people of Barovia against the devil Strahd, and at that he goes boo at a child, and the kid's like, ah!
And I glare at Devlin when he's talking about rallying the village.
He stirred them with thoughts of revolt and bore them to the castle en masse. When the vampire appeared, the wizard's peasant army fled in terror. A few stood their ground and were never seen again. The wizard and the vampire cast spells at each other. Their battle flew from the courtyards of Ravenloft to a precipice overlooking the falls. I saw the battle with my very own eyes. Thunder shook the mountainside, and great rocks tumbled down upon the wizard. Yet, by his magic, he survived. Lightning from the heavens struck the wizard, and again he stood his ground. And as he's telling this tale, you notice that the bonfire seems to be enacting this tale. So when he's talking of spells being flung at each other, the flames almost change colour and sparks fly. And when the falls are mentioned, the flames turn almost blue and ripple like water. And when he mentions the wizard, the flames form up the shape of a man casting a spell. The kids are enthralled by this fire telling the story. But when the devil Strahd fell upon him, the wizard's magic could not save him. And at this point, the fire dies down to almost embers. I saw him thrown 1,000 feet to his death. I climbed down to the river to search for the wizard's body, to see if, he had anything of value on him. But the river Iblis had already spirited him away. And that is my tale. And at that point, the fire returns to how it was. Just a normal bonfire.
I don't suppose you know the name of this wizard.
I do not.
Was he a local?
No. He came to this land much like yourself.
Tell me, your memory seems incredibly keen. What did this wizard look like?
Well, he was an older man. White hair, robes. Forgive me, I don't really pay attention to clothing of you people. It bores me.
I look at Chandra.
He looked like a wizard.
Right.
I don't really have much to tell you besides that. He never came to speak to us, which, well, I guess he did come to speak to us, but he didn't try to rally us, which honestly I'm offended by because my skills in combat are unparalleled. But yes. Then you see him take a swig of wine.
I heard from the merchant in town that the man in the castle charges everyone exorbitant taxes. Does he charge you as much?
No. We Vistani are free to do as we please.
Why have you escaped his pillaging?
Ah, that is a tale. That is a tale from far beyond me. But, as far as I know, a very, 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 very long time ago, my people saved the devil before he was the devil. He came to Barovia to siege the castle and was gravely wounded. My people saved him, nursed him back to health, and he went on to win the siege and the castle and Barovia.
Even the good men can become tainted by evil.
I'm gonna play that song I learned from the messenger. I say, does this song mean anything to you?
That is, we play that when someone dies. I would ask if you stop, please.
Yeah, of course. I won't continue as soon as he says that. The person I learned this song from, they said it was very strong historical context. Or it's a very important song to your people.
It is a lament. It is a tale of a Vistana who had their freedom taken from them.
Is that something you all value very highly?
Yes.
I can understand. It is a shame that it does not extend to the other peoples of this land.
Well, we have to look out for ourselves first. I went French then, what the hell?
And it's exactly the job of people like me to look out for everybody else before themselves.
You are a noble man.
Nobility
Do you
doesn't come into
know
it.
if the violin still exists?
Legends say it does. I have not seen it.
So it hasn't been returned to your people?
No.
Would it? Is it something you'd like returned?
It may be of value to some people.
Surely you'd want the spirit of your ancestors returned to you.
Not all Vistani come from the same family.
Oh, what else can you tell us about that?
About what?
The Vistani family lines.
Well, and his voice has dropped now, so it's less performative as it was. And you get the feeling that he was hamming his accent up a bit while he was telling his story.
Yeah, he's secretly French.
No, he's not secretly French. That's just me being shit at accents, Jamie. But thanks.
Bonjour.
I was giving you an out, Susie. I was giving you an out.
I know. But he says, well, there are a few Vistani families that have a long lineage. Madame Eva is of one, but few can trace it back a long way. We don't keep records. We are a verbal people.
Do you care about lineage at all?
Not really, no.
So,
We live in the moment.
Best moment. Of
The family the violin descends from. It sounds like it's not a family you closely associate with. Is there a reason for that rift?
No. There are, in Barovia itself, there are other Vistani camps. There's one near Valaki, as far as I'm aware. Perhaps one towards Kresk, I'm not sure. As we are nomads, we tend to drift apart. Some families leave with different caravans and we never see them again.
Oh, thank you for sharing with me. I'm very ignorant of your culture.
Many are, but thank you for asking.
how do you and the villagers get along? I didn't get the feel they like you very much.
Short answer, we don't.
Hmm.
They hate us, they resent us because we can travel freely. For
Well, that's
some
not your
reason, they
fault.
tolerate the sisters in the tavern, but I feel that's because they self-exiled. They are no longer Vistana. They chose to relinquish their freedom.
Hmm. Why do you come back when you can leave this rather dreary place? It's surprising you would even return.
It is not so bad for us here. Certainly better than Sigil.
Sigil?
It's a place. It's horrible.
I can't even say anything about that. I hate you.
Here we have food, we have water, we have a camp. We have life.
Also, I agree. Sigil is a terrible place.
Can you tell me about the river? It's very beautiful. But it seems unlike anything else in this land.
There is a legend that the river is the one thing untainted by the devil. There is a source outside the land that is free and pure, but a legend.
By outside the land, do you mean outside the mists?
Yes. However, you cannot float to freedom.
I wasn't.
I said that once, and a young adventurer
Why,
threw
source.
himself in
why
the
is
river,
it
and
the
we never
water
saw
that's
him.
untouched?
What?
I was going to
Who's talking?
Did the legend say why? Did the legend say why the river is untouched?
Some say it was blessed by a dragon, others say it is the one thing to torment the devil. He has
What
a problem
direction?
with running water, apparently.
What direction does the river flow in?
West to east, I believe.
Or is it west to east or is it east to west?
West to east. I think.
Darn.
It's canon now.
I could make a witty comment if it was the other way.
No, it's not
The
like the
rising
fucking
sun.
sun.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We haven't had the sun mentioned once by Davalon yet.
I know,
I'm
right?
Almost missing.
Not you never mentioned it today. Are you alright?
What I have? Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, we're all gonna start playing word bingo. It's like, how many times will I say this?
I must ask.
Mm.
The name Madam Eva has been mentioned a few times since we got here, including someone saying that she was the one who invited us in to the camp, at least. I don't suppose that means we could request an audience with her. She seems like quite an interesting person to speak to.
I believe she is already expecting you. And he points to the larger tent. He goes, "That is her tent.
Right.
Feel free to go say hello."
I suppose we will at some point. Although, I think at some point tonight as well, that my friend here, I point to Chandra, would perhaps like to tell you a story.
Mm.
Oh, I know what he wants. I know exactly what he wants. Is there any stories of your people you'd like carried to the outside world?
Mm. There is one. It's more of a. No. Actually, no, not even that one. There are stories we have amongst ourselves to teach children and to tell of family histories and stories and adventures, but we don't typically share them with outsiders much.
Oh, it's very understandable. It is your sacred culture, after all.
Most
wouldn't-
people are not understanding of our life.
Do I have your permission to share the story of the wizard with the outside world?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I will carry that story freely. And I believe this gentleman would like me to tell you a story of his valor. But
I don't know
I
if you
will
know
not.
any stories of my valor.
At this point,
Are there any
tell
stories
you-
of your valor?
before you have a chance to elaborate any further, you hear another whistle from across the bonfire, and the same young man you'd seen earlier come up and talk to the two gentlemen guarding the entrance to the camp. Basically, just jerks his head backwards towards the larger tent.
Before we go anywhere to that, I'd like to point out that I've been more on the periphery of the conversation, doing bicep curls with whatever kid walks by,
Tiny
and
children.
seeing how many can dangle off my arms at any given point. Now that the story's finished, it's less entertaining visually for me. So just children.
The kids
Show
are
me what
having
you
a
got.
field day. Some of them are just straight up climbing you. The ones you've got dangling off your arms are giggling and having a great time. And then when they drop off, they run off and tell their friends. I'm like, oh my god, look at this massive guy. He did this thing. And Again, the small child wearing no clothes comes screaming past, followed quickly by her father.
As they run, I'll druidcraft a flower crown around the, just to clothe the kids and give the father some rest. It's just... I
Flower
think that
crown
The kid
solves
kind of
everything.
stops for a second and is like, and carries on running and screaming. And the dad at this point is just like,
No, I meant around the hips.
oh, around the
so-
hips. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay,
it's like
Hula
a
skirt.
little hula skirt. Yeah.
stops, feels the hula skirt, and then just feels her even more, and she's off screaming, and the dad's just kind of like, thank you for clothing her. I still need to catch her. Thank you, bye. And he runs out.
And I just turn to whoever's next to me and say, I did that a lot as a kid. It's fun.
But at this point, Dazan says, I think that's your cue.
I think it might be.
I'll follow them to the tent.
Okay, so you make your way across the camp. It's not a very big camp, as I said. As you pass by, there are families just lounging. There are people doing washing in the as you go past. You see in the little lake. There's people doing washing of clothes. A child jumps in, not the same child that you had dressed, but you get the idea. This is a living, breathing family camp. So you make your way across to the larger tent, and as you get closer, you see that magic flames cast a reddish glow over the interior of this tent, revealing a low table covered in a black velvet cloth. Glints of light seem to flash from a crystal ball on the table as a hunched figure peers into its depths. As the crone speaks, her voice crackles like dry weeds. At last you have arrived. Cackling laughter bursts like mad lightning from her withered lips.
I nod and respectfully say, Madame Eva, we presume?
Yes, I am she.
Thank you for receiving
My
us.
Skype is
Uh-oh, I think Stu's gone. Rip.
really...
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Well, he's pulling faces, at least.
I haven't heard any for about the past 2 minutes.
Stu, just
Should
drop and
we-
come back. We're gonna go to.
Should we take
yeah.
a break
Yeah,
for a
we're
second?
gonna go
so
to
I
quick
can
break
run-
so we can sort this out. So we'll be back in a minute. We'll see you soon.
I gotta take care of that doggy.
click that way too. Hi, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us through that break. We are back. Our
And
party...
not roboty.
And not roboty. I think it worked. We stopped everything and redid the call, so what can you do? Anyway, so just before the break, the party had just entered into Madame Ava's tent, and she welcomed them with a "I've been expecting you, Mr. Bond" kind of deal. So, what do you do?
Less murderers.
Are there seats?
There are cushions around the floor.
The cushions.
Is she seated?
She is, yes.
I step up and hand her a dire wolf tooth, because I have a trophy from my thing, and say it is customary in my tribe to never visit an elder without a gift.
She
I do not mean to insult if this is not
She
what you do here, but-
smiles. She nods graciously, extends a very bony, thin hand with like onion texture skin and long nails. She extends it and takes the tooth from you. And she says, "Thank you, Rahal." And she
Long
pockets it.
days and pleasant nights.
My good lady, may I be seated?
She gestures. Wherever you wish, Dabalan.
And I just like curtsy and move it into like a flashy sitting.
Oh, sweet girl.
I just bow my head and find the most comically small cushion for me to sit on. Just for personal reasons. Just
Like a doily.
I personally find that funny. So he sits on the smallest cushion.
And she says, "Stoic as ever, Kerchak. Welcome, welcome." So, you're here to kill Strahd, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
If the need arises.
Do we have to kill him, or can we pun him into submission?
Mr. Talking to.
Many have tried. Many. Many have failed. One succeeded. For a while.
What do you mean?
What do you mean for a while?
He came back, as he always does. I was a girl then. But I remember.
I mean, technically speaking, my good madame, you're still a girl now.
It's a shame he didn't mean that as flattery.
Yes, well, those types are always a bit off.
Massive grin at that.
No.
And she shares like a cheeky like smile with you, like a little giggle.
I just got to rug a deck to the heart.
Okay, buddy. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Aren't you kitty tail?
He's helping.
What do you mean a little while? Was it 100 years? 25 years? A month?
Before my birth, he was defeated. But when I was small, he returned.
Are people able to leave? during
My
those
people?
days?
No. My people could.
But no one else?
No. I remember it was bright. There was sun. And then there was no more.
He doesn't like the sunlight very much, does he?
He does not.
Can it harm him?
Some say so, yes.
But it seems to me the curse isn't so much him as on him and on the land.
Very astute, Chandra. Smart girl. You'll go far.
That's the entire module.
Do you
Just turns to camera, breaks fourth wall.
Do you know the source of the curse?
They call it the dark powers.
Has someone tried healing the land?
It can't be done, dear girl.
What is the dark powers?
Some say a cosmic force, something tormenting him, tormenting the land. Others say a god got driven mad by power. Some say twisted magic. No one really knows.
There's no myths in your people about it?
It's too recent history to be myth just yet.
How recent is that?
Within 5, 6, 700 years.
Oh, that's very recent.
Is it? I'm the only human here.
Do you know what it has to do with? I point at Devlin and I go, his son garbage.
Never mind.
There is a cult. The cult of the Morning Lord. They believe that they
It's not a cult.
will destroy Strahd and heal the land, and, well, there is one remaining cult member,
Where is he?
Kresk. He's the abbot.
And their name?
I do not know his name.
Do you know where Kresk is?
Far, far west from here.
Oh, we are on our way.
Yep, we're going west. Might as well keep going west.
No, we are going there with Irina.
Oh.
Irina Kolyana, yes.
You know her?
I've seen her. The cards told me of her. She's a special girl.
He seems to think so.
I'm sure he does.
You have the gift of foresight?
I do.
Would you mind sharing with us any special training you see would help our path?
I can't train you in the ways of the eye, but I can give you a reading.
That's
Would you
all I'm
like
asking
one?
for. Yes.
Okay, so she breaks into a huge grin, and the lighting of this tent makes it look super ominous. Like she's lit from beneath, like Scary Stories with a torch under her chin. Especially when it reflects off the ball in front of her. Looks rather
Well,
ominous.
Chandra loves this, and so she like leans into the underlighting also and see if maybe it can like catch off her tusks and stuff.
Yep. So you both lean in, and you're both amazingly lit. It looks freaking awesome.
I'm just off going.
And you look to the table in front of you, and you see now that there's a set of long cards. And they weren't there like a minute ago. They've just seemingly appeared from nowhere. And you look at the back of them, and they've been, they look handmade. And it's beautifully painted in very bright colours, lots of blues and gold. And the gold is actually like gold leaf. And these look like they're an extremely prized possession. And with a wave of a hand, the cards float up and begin to shuffle themselves. But seeing as I'm not actually magic, I'm going to have to shuffle them myself.
But if you do a
Look, it's doing it with no attachment.
So, and as the cards are shuffling, she says, "Tell me, what do you think the fates have for you in store?"
After today, I honestly have no idea.
That's the smart answer. Only a fool pretends to know what is in store for him. You're learning, Davalon.
I certainly think there'll be rich stories for me to share.
Okay. So, the cards separate into two separate decks. There's a smaller, thinner, more elaborately decorated deck, and there's one that's a little bit simpler and it has more cards in it. The top 3 cards from the larger deck arrange themselves in a pattern, one to the left, one to the top, one to the right. And then 2 from the smaller deck, one at the bottom, one in the middle. Okay. And she gestures Chandra to come forward. And she says, the card on the left, turn it.
Okay, I turn the card.
Okay. As you turn the card, she says, this card tells of history. Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. Okay, and then you turn the card over and you see... Shit. I need to find this now. There's a huge thing. Give me a sec. You turn over the card and you see that painted on it is the figure of a finely dressed Vistani woman, and she appears to be dancing above a cauldron with which a brightly coloured smoke is coming out of it. And she says, search for the crypt of a wizard ordinaire. His staff is the key. Wait a minute. No, she does not, because I fucked that up.
Whoops.
Womp womp. Wait a second.
Womp womp.
Sorry, guys.
It's alright.
No, I didn't fuck it up. I didn't fuck it up. We good.
I just erased everything.
Sorry, I'm sorry. So, search for the crypt of a wizard ordinaire. His staff is the key. That's what she says.
Is ordinaire his name, or is it a fancy way of saying ordinary?
It's a fancy way of saying ordinary. Okay. So, have you got that? We all good?
Yes.
She gestures to Rahal. She says, the top card, dear.
I druidcraft a Poof of Wind and turn it over.
Okay. You flip it over, and you see what appears to be a very dour-looking man with heavily shaded eyes, clutching what appears to be a chest, and he's covered in furs and jewellery. And, she says, this card tells of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. So that is... Need to find it. Where are you? Okay, so she says, look for a fortress. Inside a fortress. In a place hidden behind fire. So a fortress
Thank
within
you.
a fortress, hidden behind a wall of fire.
Thank you.
Okay. Kerchak, dear. The one on the right, if you would.
I lean over and flip it.
Okay. As you flip the card, you see that there appears to be, again, another beautifully dressed Vistani woman. Her eyes are white. There's no iris, no pupil. Her hands are in like a dancing motion. And around her are floating glyphs and magical symbols. She says, this is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight. And that one is, and she says, I see a kneeling woman, a rose of great beauty plucked too soon. The master of the Marsh knows of whom I speak. You got that?
Yeah.
Alright. And then Davalan. The bottom card, if you would.
Turn the card over.
Whoop. On this one, you see a horrific-looking creature. Its claws and gaping maw open to the viewer of the card. You see, like, huge fangs and dripping saliva. It's not an animal you know of. It looks like a horrific creature.
I point to
damn
it
it,
and I
Davalan.
say, "Look, Davalan, that's you."
Oh.
Oh, Davalan. Womp womp.
Davalan, we picked good things. Why did you pick that? God damn it, Davalan.
So, as you flip the card, she says to you, "This card shed light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against the beast." And that one is... Bear with me a second. She says, "A werewolf holds a secret hatred for your enemy. Use her hatred to your advantage." Alright. And then she, for the final card in the middle, she flips it over. And you see what appears to be the face of an older man. And his eyes are downcast and closed. He's bald, but on his head there are many, many eyes staring out at you. And it's almost as if the eyes are following you. Wherever you see the card from, the eyes are looking at you. She says, upon turning that card, "Your enemy is a creature of darkness, whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him." And this one... Bear with me a second. She says, "He waits for you in a place of wisdom, warmth, and despair. Great secrets are there."
A library.
You don't know.
Or a smoking room. Drawing room.
Quick, everyone grab a dinner jacket. No, a smoking jacket, obviously. Yeah.
Chandra just produces like 7
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah.
And as she's finished with the reading, she goes like this with her hands, and the cards assemble back into the 2 separate decks, and then settle themselves down onto the table beside the crystal ball. Well, there you have it. Go on.
I remember werewolves been mentioned at some point, but I don't think I was there for that conversation. Did we establish whether or not we knew what they were or not?
Ismark and Arena told you that werewolves exist here, and they are people that can change their form into that of monstrous wolves. Some can do it voluntarily, others cannot.
Right.
They made the point to distinguish with Rahal that they're definitely not druids. They're people afflicted with a curse.
Right. Just checking.
Tell me, madame,
Hmm.
these readings of yours,
Yes.
I assume this is the only help you'll be giving us.
That's all I can.
And I know he can probably hear exactly what we're saying right now, but why are you helping us?
I have my own motives.
Surely as a Vistana, you would be wise to stay on his good side.
There are a lot of things you do not know, Davalan.
If I knew everything, what would be the point in searching?
Just to be sure.
I roll my eyes.
Not getting a sass tally for that.
I wasn't looking for one.
Well, Do you know of where this crypt or place of wisdom is? What direction we should head?
I do not. No. I only know what the cards channel through me, and no more.
Have you helped others like you have helped us?
There have been many like yourselves, none quite so intriguing.
Well, regardless of anything, thank you very much for your help. I think that perhaps before your time comes, you will get to see the sun once again.
My dear boy, you are very kind. Don't lose that kindness here.
I don't think
there
I could have
anything-
tried.
Is there anything we can do as a show of appreciation for your assistance?
Feel free to stay the night. We will provide you with food, drink, lodgings. There is a spare Vardo that you can camp in. Besides that, just enjoy yourselves.
Do you have any goods we can buy here?
No, we don't really have much beyond food.
That's not a problem. I'm looking for a set of manacles. There's someone I want to arrest.
His name is Strahd, and
And he's a Virgo.
He's a Virgo. Please.
And buying you would approve?
May I suggest rope?
Not chafing enough.
I'm sure Bildreth would appreciate that.
Can I just cast mending on the chain boa I'm wearing to turn it into sort of a half-assed manacles to get him to shut up?
Mending doesn't really work that way, unfortunately. If there was a broken chain, you could link, you could fix it, but no, sadly not. You could just give him the chain, though. He's halfway there.
I'll just give him the chains.
Thank you, but no thank you.
I'm gonna bind his hands with the chains.
Bind my hands with the chain.
Yes.
I assume you will be contesting this.
Yes.
Okay, let's go for a grapple. So,
I'll be using
athletics, Chandra.
Athletics, yeah. Acrobatics, sorry.
20?
20.
Okay, you
Whoa.
begin to, seemingly out of nowhere, begin to try and bind Davalan's hands with the chain. He does manage to move them out of the way in time, and Madame Ava, she puts up a hand. If you wouldn't mind, I am drained from that reading, if you wouldn't mind. Please.
My apologies. Thank you for all your help. And I hope your rest is sound.
She just nods.
Thank you, Madam Ava. Go outside.
I bow a little and then
Sounds like you. Like, thank you, Madam Ava.
I guess.
I bow as well and walk out, trying not to make it obvious that my ass has gone numb from that really tiny cushion.
You hear a tiny giggle from Madame Ava as you leave.
I mean, you stand up and the cushion's still stuck to your butt.
It only just falls off as I leave through the tent.
Yeah, but it's like a frilly lace cushion.
Yeah.
As you
Sounds about right.
leave the tent, as you all exit, as you hear her humming a song, but it's strange. Her voice sounds like that of a young woman as she's singing. And a few moments pass, and I need you to roll a perception check.
These skies along heaven.
She's not singing the Woven Storm. Come on, man.
14.
18.
Natural 20.
Okay.
I see something.
Here. See.
Maybe
Smell.
I see the smell and hear the colours. Okay.
The wind.
I'm guessing by that face that wasn't a good roll, Marissa.
No, it's 7.
Okay. Davilan and Kerchak, you notice that as you turn to listen to the song she's singing, you see out the back of the tent a large black bird fly off across the small lake in a southwesterly direction.
I nudge Davalanche himself and big bird there. Kind of like the one you saw in Graveyard, wasn't it? Are you a bad omen? Are you gonna bring tragedy upon us all?
You've known me long enough to know that I, of course, am a bad omen.
Yep. But now there's birds following you. Why?
I don't know, my sunny disposition. Shiny things.
Didn't look like a magpie.
Or is that just magpies?
And a few others, but yeah. So, did it look like it came from inside the tent as it flew away?
Yeah.
We're not even
Right.
safe from the birds inside.
Can I peek back inside the tent?
Yeah.
Can I do it sneakily?
Roll a stealth check.
Oh, yeah, I'm good at this. I'm super good at this.
Hang on, give me a sec. I need to roll for Madam Ava. Okay, what'd you get?
23.
Ooh.
Does the seer see him?
As you poke your head in the tent stealthily, you are trying very hard. You hear her humming, and then it stops. And anything I can help you with, Davalan?
Sorry, thought I saw a rather large bird.
But he
Must have been
did.
my imagination.
Yes, I bet. Good evening.
Good evening to you two as well.
And as
Thank you again.
the tent falls, you hear. She's humming again. Actually, roll a history check, Davalan.
Oh, I'm good at these. What'd I get? That's maybe. No. 12.
12. You kind of half recognize the song. It sounds familiar. I think you heard it in a tavern somewhere before. Definitely not a common song, but you've heard it somewhere.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, so it's now approaching late afternoon. What would you like to do?
Do we stay here or do we return to his market arena?
I've already changed outfits and I'm dancing around the fire.
This place seems a lot more fun. And the kids love me.
You've actually, Chandra, as you're dancing around the fire, you've actually been given like a beautiful scarf from one of the dancing women, and it's embroidered in golds and small, like, non-precious jewels. It glitters beautifully in the flames of the bonfire.
I got like little like pearl teardrops, and also the big Slavic style crown.
What, like an Ushanka?
Mm-hmm. And let me see, what dress should I have on? I'm gonna take a minute to think about the dress.
Lover of the Strahd.
You know what it is? It's just like flowers, just like flowers and flowers and
Just
flowers.
a million flowers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I mean,
so
Better
Chandra
she
is
the crown. I mean, that's just impractical.
Are you doing like the Rasputin dance around the campfire?
Yep.
Okay, so as Chandra is twirling around the fire, she's having a really good time, and she joins in a lot of the dancers, the women and men dancing around it. Some of the children are dancing with her. What do you guys want to do?
I want to graduate from bicep curls of children to bench a teenager.
I like it.
Just roll
That's
a
my plan.
persuasion check. See if you can convince a Vistana to let you bench them.
Persuasion.
Yep.
That's not the greatest. 16.
16? Okay. It takes a little, come on.
No, trust me, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Bro.
But you
dude.
get there, and it's you've been flexing and showing off your might, and a couple of the young lads are there as well, trying to show off to their prospective young girlfriends and boyfriends. They're showing off, and one of them is like, "Bro, my core is so steady that you won't even believe." So you're there bench pressing this guy who's there with his arms crossed, and he's kind of shaking a little from the effort of trying to keep as straight and flat as he possibly can.
I'm trying to help him outshine the rest that are trying to flex.
Yeah.
Just now look at this, bro. Half orc benching this Vistani. Come on, he's the one you want. It's a whole grease lightning. All of a sudden, T-Bird's John. It's I'm making this guy's life right now.
Yep. And you see that there's a couple of people that suddenly seem quite interested in this young man. And he whispers a quiet thank you to you as you're doing this. Rahal,
I would say you're welcome, but I'm concentrating too much.
Rahal, Davalan, what are you doing?
I'm just sat by the fire listening to the people talking around, trying to learn as much as I can about the customs of these people.
Mm-hmm. Rahal?
I'm a bit worried because I think we should be home at least at night. We should not stay here as much as I would like. So I'll probably first talk to Davalan about this because the other two are obviously busy.
Okay, so as you approach Davalan, you hear that Darzan, the storyteller from earlier, is in the midst of another tale. And he has, again, an audience of small children and Davalan. And this time he's halfway through a tale, and as you approach, you hear him say, "And the Dark Knight did come out from the woods and scared young Magda. He brought them up to the castle." And then you approach, and he kind of falters a little and turns his attention to the children.
Davalan, are you wanting to stay here for the night?
I have... I don't actually really know.
I just think of what happened to Gertrude. I don't think she should be unprotected at night, Irina. We said we would leave early tomorrow. We
Yes.
should be there.
It seems like the night is not a pleasant place around here, to be
Oh,
unprotected at least.
It would be here in this camp, but I don't
Yes,
trust
but
it.
these
It's-
people can take care of themselves. The people in Barovia cannot.
I would give my left arm to be able to stay here with them and just forget about this, but I'm worried.
I don't think forgetting about it is what we need to do.
That's what I just said.
I know, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Sounded like, yeah. I'm not used to that, we agreeing, so...
Long form conversation.
Mm.
Yes.
So, which orc are you taking?
I'm not taking either of them.
We should tell them that we're not. I mean, they feels like they're making themselves at home.
Alright, fine. I'll go get Kerchak.
We can stay here for an hour. It's late afternoon, you said?
I would say that we go as soon as we can.
Right. So...
Fender's light doesn't last all day, you know.
My God. I regret this. But I'll make my way to Chandra, past the campfire, and grab some food on the way and stuff my face with as much as I can without being too impolite.
It's a quail. Quail.
Fine. That's what I'm used to. I try and duck under Chandra's dancing as she's twirling around and try not to get punched. Just Chandra, Chandra.
Can I try to pick her up? What?
I let it happen this time because attention. I need to kind of get her attention. Like,
All right, I dance around with Rahal.
Okay, okay. Ow, ow, that's my arm. I need that. Ow. Can we please talk for a second? Ow, that was my toe.
I'm listening.
We're in the middle of a lot of people, I assume, because everyone's dancing around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not here. Ow. Private. Just a second.
Oh,
please.
You want a private dance, Rahal?
Just shut up and come. And I'm trying to drag her off. And...
I'll go with her.
All right. So Rahal has corralled Chandra. Davalan, you make your way over to Kerchak, who is right now bench pressing a teenager.
I walk up to Kerchak and just address the teenager. Excuse me, young? Yes, humans are young at that. Young sir. Or madam. Or over.
It's a young man, and he's like, what?
Would you mind getting off, my friend?
That was a very strange way to phrase that, but Kerchak, can you let me down, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Subtle bro fist.
He gives you a little bro fist, and then he sort of slicks back his hair, does that thing where he licks his fingers and then his eyebrows, and then makes his way over to a group of girls, and he's like, "So, ladies, impressed?"
To Davalan goes, "They grow up so fast." What?
How old was he? Around 80, 90?
I don't know. He's older than me, but still. What?
We're going to go back
Where?
to Barovia. I think it'd be better that we leave as early as we can with Ismark and Arena in the morning. So that means leaving now.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, fine. I was getting tired anyway. I mean, I wasn't, but...
Tired?
Yeah.
I've never seen you tired in your life.
Basking in my own glory.
Take a minute.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, you know that smell? Kind of resembles sweat. That's victory.
No, that's your awful body odor.
Nah, that's victory. You'll never know it because you don't work hard enough for it.
I've left.
Alright, so you make your way back to the edge of the Vistani camp, and the two guys that were guarding the entrance nod as you go past. And they say, "Safe travels." And they whistle again, and the whistle reverberates down the woods. And you are now back on the main road.
How much time do we reckon we have before it's considered night? What with it being so overcast?
You've got a couple more hours.
Enough to get back without having to worry.
Yeah.
I realized I am Dayman, fighter of the Nightman, champion of the sun.
He is the master of karate and friendship for everyone. God damn it.
That's me.
I have to listen to that.
Oh, you do. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, I have to listen to that right now. How dare you do that, Stu?
That's what I do.
So, you're back on the main road. Very keenly aware that you're being watched right now.
At least you got a nice scarf out of it, Chandra. Sorry for...
Well, thank you. I think it's very lovely and generous.
Actually, before you left the camp, you were given like a small, like a bundle with some bread and cheese in it. Just some.
They're so nice to us.
Just as you left.
I like these guys.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately, I don't think we can trust them. In fact,
Why?
well, you know what we were told in Barovia. They work for Strahd, and no matter their
I didn't see the
hospitality.
I didn't see the bird, right? Okay. Why? Just because one person centuries ago helped Strahd before he was Strahd doesn't mean they work for him.
No, we were quite categorically told that they work for him.
What?
Yes.
By angry villagers that haven't left their houses in decades.
And you wonder why they
Fear
haven't left
everything.
their houses?
And fear everything. Fair enough, they fear the wild, but doesn't mean the Vistani are...
Which would you rather trust? The people having a song and a dance in a campfire in a land where even the trees die, or the person fearing for their life because a vampire came through their window and bit them because they felt like it?
I trust both of them.
Personally, I don't trust anyone as
Don't
far
trust-
as you, Dalavan, can throw them. Dalavan, sorry.
I can't throw people very far.
Exactly, that's why I used you and not me.
I see. Just
That's the sort of bullshit. It doesn't matter if it's Barovia or if it's Baldur's Gate. It's just because they don't know them, just because there's a century-old legend. It's not their fault they can leave. It's not their fault they don't have to fear Strahd. That does not equal that they're working for him.
when we left Madame Ava's tent, the same black bird, or I assume the same black bird that I saw at the cemetery this morning, flew out the back of Madame Ava's tent and across the lake towards the castle.
Can confirm.
What?
So there's other things in the same direction as the castle.
In this
Same-
land, I don't take coincidence. Today I saw myself dead. Forgive my trepidation and my lack of usual sunny disposition. No pun intended. Okay,
That was a lie.
pun slightly intended.
You made that pun twice in the last half hour, so I'm fairly sure it was intended.
I want to help these people. The people that look like they need help. And if that means not having a nice night's rest in a camp surrounded by people having fun, then so be it.
I'm not disagreeing
no
with you. I was the one
harm.
to tell you to leave, but just be a little less of a dick, why don't you?
There's no harm in having fun during tragedy. That's how people survive.
It is, but you get to a point where fun is a concept that seems wayward when tragedy has been all of you have known.
All the more reason to hold on to it.
I don't think you understand.
I live moment by moment. Like, it's just who I am, you know? Take everything with a pinch of salt.
My
The
entire
end of
life,
your life, the end of it
is-
is predetermined, so don't worry about it.
my entire life, which is probably more than all of yours combined so far, has been dedicated to doing this, to helping people. I've learnt to spot when people are properly in need, truly in need. Davalin wouldn't say properly. When people are truly
You've
in
certainly helped people, but you haven't learned empathy.
need. I have learnt empathy. I just... Well, came into this with a sense of aloofness. I thought I could, wave my sword around, make some speeches, and people would feel good again, that they would have some happiness, Usually in those situations, people are excited to have someone come and save them. And that's exactly why I know that these people really need help. Because they don't think someone can save them. And that's exactly why I have to save them. Even if it's on my own.
I just roll my eyes at him.
Me too, and I go off because... Ugh. I just walk.
All right.
I pat him on the shoulder at least.
Okay, so you make your way back down the road that you had previously travelled upon. Doop-a-doo, give me a second. Gonna just do a thing. Everyone just roll me a perception check, please.
Okie dokie.
Ooh. Oh my.
Oh my.
24.
24.
17.
Oh.
I like this dice. This was what gave me the crit. I'm keeping it.
8.
13.
You got 8, Davalon.
Yeah, I only rolled a 5.
Alright, so Chandra, Rahal, and Kerchak, as you're walking down the road, you spot it's woodland as you're walking and brush, but you spot what appears to be like a small break in the bush, and broken twigs, as if someone had been through that little area.
Wasn't there on the way in, was it?
I couldn't tell you. I wasn't paying attention that way around.
No, me neither.
But my danger sense is tingling.
I mean, should we investigate it?
I mean, I suppose we could. While we're here. As long as it doesn't take too long anyway.
2-3 hours, I think. Was the time sitting around the campfire and was that a short rest or?
Yes, that would
I
be
would still have-
classified as a short rest.
Pull my wild shapes back.
Okay, so you're going to investigate the small disturbance?
Yeah.
Alright, so you don't have to travel very far in to find it, but just tucked beneath a small rock, there is what appears to be a bundle wrapped in very bright purple fabric.
Purple fabric like something the Vistani would wear.
Yes.
Unfold the fabric, unbundle it.
Okay, as you unbundle it, you find a single long black feather and a vial with something that Davlan you know as to be a potion of healing. Wrapped around it is a piece of parchment.
I open the parchment.
It just says, good luck.
Aw, those guys. Must have been that kid I benched.
Black feather, like a blackbird.
I
I
flick
look
the
at
healing.
Davalin.
I flick the healing potion to Kerchak.
You have a potion
Is
of
it-
healing.
Is this in case you fall over?
No, it's in case you fall over. I can
I
take
take
care of
some.
myself.
I take some knocking down, I'll tell you.
I know you do. That's exactly why I give you that. This
Yep.
is more than proves my point. I just
Oh yes,
flick the
they're
black
so
feather away.
untrustworthy. Ah.
They are,
How does it prove your point?
About
because
the
they're watching us still.
Of
I
course
pick up
they're
the
watching
feather.
us. We're on their land.
How long have we been traveling, did you say?
I'd say by that point you've been travelling about maybe half an hour, 40 minutes.
Right, so that's like a good couple of miles.
Yeah, you're a good distance away from the camp at this point.
We're
But they're
nowhere near their camp.
nomads. They're nomads.
Exactly, which means no land is their land.
Or all
I
land
make a
is their land.
completely horrified face at him.
It's kind of is the cup half empty? Like, is all land their land or no land their land?
Oh, I mean by virtue.
Whose virtue?
They don't
Whose
own land.
virtue?
But anyway, that's Stuart saying that, not Everland. But look, you can believe what you want. All I know is that everything suspicious that has happened since we've been here, that's not been outright shown to us as being evil, has been as a result of them. I am one to enjoy arts. It's literally what my god is a patron of. But I can't enjoy the arts of people that would support someone evil, even by proxy.
I pick up the feather and say, life must be so simple in your mind. Right, wrong, nothing in between. I'm impressed, I envy that. And I walk away again, back onto the path.
Turn to Kerjack. The in-between's always the hard part.
It's alright. I mean, I understand your point of view, but I'm just too... It's funny for me to say that, but I'm far too relaxed to let that get on top of me.
And that's exactly why we work so well together.
Little dig in the arm again. I'm slowly working a friendly dent into whatever piece of armor.
It's leather. And well cleaned.
There's going to be a particularly scuffed patch by the end of this. Just the friendly punch will get through there one day.
Polish it every night. Can't be scuffed. Can't be scuffed. Has to reflect the morning sun. Has to reflect the morning sun.
So, you continue down the path. You pass the gallows. No figure hanging this time. The grave you dug is still there. The air is very still. Whereas there was a breeze earlier, there is nothing now. And it's very quiet. Every now and then you would hear the hoot of an owl. Maybe the rustle of the trees, but it's still it's like eerily quiet. There's not as many nature sounds as you would expect. When you go past the river, it still looks bright and beautiful and clear and nice. I run out of adjectives. But
can I fill my water skin with water from that river?
You certainly can.
I was thinking the
yes.
same thing.
I will do that.
Just for shits and giggles, though, roll me a athletics check for the riverbank.
You accidentally catch a fish.
12.
Okay, you make your way down the riverbank. You skid a little bit, but your footing is mainly solid. You manage to scoop up some water. Kerchak, are you going down?
Yeah.
Athletics.
I'm good at those. 13.
13. Again, you slip a little. Some of the mud gives way underneath your foot as you slide down the riverbank, but you manage to get down there and refill your water skin.
Do I have any glass bottles on me?
Do you have any sort of like kit on you, like a like ink bottles or anything like that you would have used, like a cartographer's kit?
Oh,
Scholar's kit.
I have the disguise kit, but oh, you know what? That comes with a perfume, so I can empty out my perfume and refill it with that.
You could empty out your perfume if you wanted to, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna empty out my perfume and put the water in there.
Okay.
I have to write that down because I don't want to forget that.
That perfume is super strong, by the way, so she pops off the stopper and starts dipping it out, and the rest of you are like...
What is
smells
that?
like water deep.
Okay.
Nose burns.
It's you know when someone's using too much perfume, it's that smell. It's like going to Lush and being hit in the face by all the perfumes at once.
Oh, no.
I can't go in that shop, man. It hurts.
I can
Instant headache.
wait. Let me roll to see if I can make it down the cliff.
Yes, athletics, please.
Oh, okay. 7.
7. You slide most of it on your bum. Your flowers get a bit muddy. You lose 1 or 2 on the riverbank, but you get down and back up. It just takes you a little bit longer. There's a couple of Scooby-Doo moments where your feet slide out from underneath you and you don't really move anywhere. But you get back up all right. Okay, so as the light begins to fade, you make your way back into the village of Barovia. Is there anywhere you want to stop off before you go back to Ismark and Arenas?
Not that I can think of.
Actually, I would like to check in on Donovich.
Okay, sure thing. Is anyone going with him?
Nah.
I'll go with him.
Okay. So Davalan and Kerchak, you make your way up to the church, and you see that. Oh, excuse me. In one of the little side rooms, there is a what appears to be candlelight, and there's no sounds. It's deathly silent here.
Let's just knock on the door.
You don't hear anything for a while. Then you hear shuffling of feet, and the church door creaks open a little, and you see Donovich. Oops. He says, "Yes."
Donovich, I just wanted to stop by to see how you were doing. I know it's been a rough day for you today.
I as well as could be expected.
All right. You let me know if you need anything. We'll be leaving in the morning, however. First light.
May the light travel with you.
And with you, my friend. I'll let you get some rest.
And he kind of just shuts the door and goes back.
I'm thinking about going to that doll maker, that toy maker from Blinsky.
One thing you would know that you haven't seen any signs for Blinsky's toys in Barovia itself, and it's pretty small. From what you've seen of the village, there's houses, there's the tavern, there's Bildrath's, and the church. That's it.
Okay. No worries then, if I can't find it at a glance then.
So you're headed back to Ismark and Arenas?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, you make your way back. The house itself doesn't seem like it's any more disturbed than you left it. You know, there's still obvious signs that the house had been attacked several times, but everything seems okay as you go up to the door. You knock on the door. There's a couple of moments of silence before it opens on a chain, and you see Ismark, and he goes, "Oh, it's good to see you. It's good to see you." And he unlocks it and opens it. He goes, "Come in, come in." You're coming in?
I go in, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you go in and you see that their eyes are red and puffy, but they have tidied up the area where they had been keeping their father, and there's a pot of something on the stove, and they seem to just be milling about.
We went to the we went to the Vistani camp outside of town and spoke there to one Madame Eva.
Oh yes, yeah, that old crone, yeah.
She gave us a card reading. It seems like it's something she does a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But when we left, there was a black bird coming out of her tent, flying towards the castle. Is there anything you know about that?
Well, I know that ravens are an omen. They
That's why they call it Ravenloft.
No, that's the cat. It was named after the devil's mother. It's nothing to do with actual ravens.
Oh.
It's a common mistake. Don't worry about it. The ravens. It said that ravens shepherd spirits out of Barovia. They are a troubling omen, but make sure you never harm one.
Are they an omen in his eyes or in his enemy's eyes?
hard to say, really. We don't really know much about him.
Right.
All I really know is that as a child, I used to like throwing stones at them because, well, it was very bored and it'd be funny to see them fly away. And I remember one day I struck one and it didn't die right away. But I remember Father being very, very angry with me about it.
Hal
Which of the
shifts
siblings was
uncomfortably
this?
at that point.
This was his mark.
Right.
Sorry, what did you say there, Lydia?
Rahal shifts uncomfortably and glares at his mark.
I know it was a terrible thing to do. I was an idiot. A child. I should have known better. That's no excuse. But well, this land can make you very cruel and you don't realize it. And I try to be better now.
You were a kid. What happens?
But
Well,
it's best if there's ravens, just steer clear.
okay. So, is there anything anybody else wants to do tonight?
Nah, I'm good.
Suppose we get some rest then.
At this point, before you do this though, Irina comes in and she has some bowls of like a stew, and she sets them out and she says, Ismark and I have been talking about going to Kresk, and it's a long, long way away, and so what we thought we'd do is stop at Vallaki on the way. It's about halfway there. We know some people there, and we can stay with them for a little while, and then we can continue on to Kresk. Vallaki should be alright. We should be safe there.
Yes, I would like to speak to the abbot in Vallaki as well.
The abbot's in Kresk.
I thought the abbot was in Vallaki.
No, he's in Kresk.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Do you know of any tombs or libraries on the way to Kresk?
No, not really, no. I don't really know much outside of the village. I know about Vallaki because, well, my father was the burgomaster of this village, and he did every now and then travel to Vallaki to talk to the burgomaster there. Sometimes I went with him, but I don't really know much outside of here. I'm sorry.
I'm not too firm on the governmental hierarchy in this land, or any land for that matter. What is a Master of the Marsh?
Master of the Marsh? Well, it's certainly not an official title. There is marshland in Barovia. It's to the far west. Well, southwest, I think. Is it southwest, Ismark? And he's like, I think it's south. Yeah, I think so, yeah. There is, so perhaps someone has declared themselves Lord of the Marsh, but it's not an official title.
Are there castles, fortresses around? 'Cause we've only seen the,
Well, there are some ancient places. There's one, Argon something. It's a distance away. Argon, I can't remember the name. It's in stories. Someone who once challenged the devil resided there, but it's a bit fuzzy. Kresk is fortified. It's basically a city castle, which is another reason why it's safe there. But there are some strongholds. They're mostly destroyed.
The place where you said the person who once faced the devil, do you know where that place is?
I don't. Maybe it's in a book somewhere. I remember
Right.
I was very, very small and I was being read a story about it.
Do you know
Did it
of
involve lightning?
Possibly.
a wizard, perhaps?
Maybe.
Do you still have this book, perhaps?
I can have a look.
That would be very helpful.
All right. So, are you still all right with taking me to Kresk? I know it's a lot to ask.
More alright than I was before, and I was already willing.
Thank you. I'll stop babbling now and let you enjoy your food. I'll search for that book tonight while I rest, and if I find it, I'll bring it to you tomorrow morning, yes?
Thank you.
Oh, good night.
Good night to you too.
And at that, Irina leaves. Ismark stays for a little bit longer. He finishes his stew, makes idle conversation with you. You know, asks you how the journey was. You know, if you encountered any trouble, any fighting, or anything. But then he soon excuses himself and heads off to his room as well. So, is there anything you want to do before you retire for the night? Okay.
Nothing for me.
You all make your ways to your respective rooms and get your night's rest. And that's where we'll end it for tonight. Because it's gone 11 o'clock already. That was quick.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a good session, guys. Good job.
Yeah.
I died, but didn't.
I sat on a tiny cushion and got a workout.
Next session, you'll begin your journey to Kresk.
Get some cardio in there now.
Yeah. Alright, so thank you for watching, guys. And is there anything anyone wants to plug this week? We got any plugs?
Ooh, I have something.
Oh?
I'm basically, well, you already know about this. Thinking about, or we're hopefully organising a D&D game in a haunted location in Edinburgh, in Scotland. And for the planning and all that, we're currently, looking for some data, actually, you'd call it. Because it would be a charity thing. So for that reason, we'd like to ticket it. All the proceedings would go to charity, but it's hard to say what exactly you can take for that sort of thing, because D&D is everyone's able to play it basically online these days. So I'm going to post something in the chat room, and if you could just help me with a straw poll, just click on how much you'd be willing to spend on a charity D&D game in a historic 18th century location that is supposedly haunted and was on a few of the Ghost Hunter programs as well. That would be very helpful.
All right.
Thank you. And if it comes together, maybe this fall, I will of course let you know in case anyone wants to join.
That sounds super cool. Haunted D&D.
If you believe hard enough,
Every
every D&D is haunted.
You have to sign a waiver just in case, perchance a ghost comes and steals your soul. But
Well, we do have enough ghosts at the moment. We don't need any more, so you should be safe.
There's 99 happy haunts here, but there's always room for one more.
I got Spell on Wheels trade paperback is out, and also Galacticon is available for sales now.
Nice. Spell on Wheels is who else is on that one?
Kate Leth wrote it, and then Megan Levins drew it.
Right.
Cool.
Out through Dark Horse, and it's 3 witches on a road trip, and it's cute.
Oh man, that seems cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Galacticon is it's like Brendan Small that did Metalocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
He's writing it with Eric Powell, and it's a space opera about divorce.
Nice. That sounds awesome. All right, well, make sure if you're in your local comic shop that you get those ones because they sound radical. Otherwise, follow us all on Twitter. Boop the Twitch button. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you follow me on YouTube as well so you don't miss an episode. And yeah, that's it. So I'm going to leave now before I waffle anymore. But hey, Stu, look. Caw, motherfucker. Caw. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.